One. Hello, welcome to Dadpuzzles. We're very happy today. We have a special guest across the pond, from Europe. This is the first time, So, she's a coach for families, and she's very big on work-life balance, self-care, and creating a thriving family life. So, please welcome my friend Jennifer. Welcome.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me, Suli. It's a
Awesome,
pleasure.
awesome, awesome.
Coming
Yes.
live to you from Hamburg, Germany.
Oh my goodness! You see, that's amazing. This is the first time, and we look forward to growing so that we can impact dads across the world. Why that?
Yeah, that's really important.
Thank
A
you.
lot to learn and a lot of places to cover.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know you're very big on self care. So and this is being overlooked by dads. So
Yeah.
how can the mothers help dads prioritize ourselves? Because sometimes we're very consumed with stuff and we forget about ourselves. So how can you help us?
As a mom or just as a woman, I can help everybody just to telling them to put yourself first. It's the
Hmm.
most important thing to put yourself first. Even as a dad with young children, put yourself first. Because if you don't put yourself first, you're not able to take care of your family. So if you always cross that limit, that border, that is your natural stopping line, you will finally be totally exhausted, not being able to work, having health or mental problems. And how do you then want to take care of your kids? And they depend on you.
Right.
So for the mothers, understand that there's a time that the dad needs as well to have his me time and try to put that into the schedule.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I know your work is very big on supporting mothers. So, what roles can we play as dads, you think, so that we can create that balanced family dynamics? Because it's both ways,
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a two-way street, and
Right?
that role is a crucial one in my opinion.
Hmm.
I have been a lone raising mom for 12 years now, so I'm definitely missing that part. But if you are an active dad and playing an active role, understand the pressure that moms are under. There is a lot of like this old picture that mothers have to take care of the children. And I
Hmm.
mean, thank God the people are getting more used to that dads take part in raising the children as well. But one thing that I really find crucial and I found crucial while I was still in a relationship was that when I was the one working and taking care of the kids in the afternoon, when my partner came home, I would have wished for him to just take the kids for the last hour of the day because I was the one that did not have adult conversations. I mean, for sure, a dad comes home from work, had a busy day, 8, 10, 11 hours far from home, and he probably wants to come home, enter the door, and go to the living room and just sit down, think, and relax, and probably have like half an hour for himself. But from the mother's perspective, she has been the whole afternoon with kids. I mean, when they are little, it's not much of a conversation you can have. And she probably is exhausted. If you
Right.
have children that don't sleep at night, she's definitely exhausted. And she probably just wants somebody that, okay, that says, I see you, I see the work that you have been doing.
Right.
She, on the other hand, knows that the partner has been working to earn family income, but it's just like this half hour, this hour where she wants to have somebody by her side and
Hmm.
not be alone.
Right.
Because raising children, if the other partner is not home for 10, 12 hours, is really lonely.
Right. 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 Yes, that is very true. And also, even when you're there, sometimes the other part can misunderstand you or think you're not helpful. So it's good to communicate more and try to be as present as
Definitely,
possible. Yes.
definitely. That's also something with mindfulness, huh?
Hmm.
Communicate your needs.
Hmm.
If you might think you know what your partner needs, but if you don't ask or if you don't communicate your
Hmm.
needs,
Hmm.
this might not match.
That is true. That is true. And so I know that you're very big on, let's say, the importance of help, asking for help. This is like a superpower for moms. So how can we use that superpower? Because sometimes we like to carry things on us, by ourselves, and you know,
Yeah, asking.
yeah.
Definitely a superpower. I mean,
Hmm.
a dad is not Superman. I mean, for the kids, you are Superman. You are the hero figure in their lives.
Hmm.
They look up to you. But it's okay to be not okay. I mean, it's okay to struggle, and it's okay to say, okay, I need somebody. Like, I turn to a podcast and
Hmm.
listen how other people feel, that
Hmm.
they experience the same stuff we do. Meet
Hmm.
with other dads on the playground when you kids have a game you go to. Exchange, and not always say, oh, it's okay. I mean, there's this common saying when you're in the States. I mean, I used to live in Virginia, and
Hmm.
one thing I really remember is that one day somebody asked me, how are you? I mean, this is the common thing to start a conversation with.
Hmm.
And at that moment, I was feeling so down. I was like, I'm really bad today. It's not a good day. And the
Hmm.
person went by, and after 10 meters, he turned around and said, like, what? What did you just say? And like, dare to say that you are not okay. Dare to
Hmm.
say, I need some help. And
Right.
you're not an outsider to seek psychological help or seek the help of a coach. A good
Absolutely.
coach can help you out of it, and it might not take like long sessions.
Hmm.
It might just only like take one session to be seen.
Awesome. Awesome. This is important, and that's where you come in, actually. Correct.
Yeah, this is where I come in mostly for women. I've done some coaching for dads as well, because
Hmm.
it's they they face the same problems. I
Hmm.
probably cannot relate that much, because I last week I had somebody and he said, "Yeah, but men have problems to admit." So,
Right.
and a woman might be more outspoken because
Hmm.
we are more used to talk about our feelings and are not that much in the head.
Hmm.
But we are all humans. We have
Right.
head and heart.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Absolutely.
let's rely on
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And initially, I kind of went ahead and because we know each other, and I forgot to kind of share more about you. Yes, you are the coach, but can you maybe tell us a little bit about you, my friend?
Yeah, sure. Um, I'm 50, so I have some life experience. Let me put it
Right.
that way. I
Right.
have two young sons, but the older one, he's turning 18, so he would probably say, "Okay, I'm not that young anymore."
Hmm.
I've been raising them alone for 12 years. I started working, I got an MBA and worked for Philips for nearly 25 years. So I knew all the side of the big industry, big players. I was then human resources and did some strategic work in the end. And then I had my brother die of cancer, and that
I'm
was for
sorry.
me a turning point where I decided, okay, this is not how I want to spend the rest of my life. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm barely in the middle, because I just told my kids I'm going to be 120. So um, at some point of time, you have to decide how you want to live the rest of your life. And
Right.
I decided that it was not in a big company for me. I wanted to
Hmm.
work with people, connect from the heart,
Hmm.
and allow my emotions and the empathy I can feel and have with people to show that, because there's so much cold out there, side there in the world, that I think people need the warmth, they need the feeling to be seen.
My friend, thank you
So,
so
and
much.
this
Thank
is
you.
when I shifted a little bit and went into coaching.
That's amazing. Coaching is an amazing field, and I'm happy myself to embark on it. And the difference you make on people is just amazing.
Yeah, it warms your own heart as well. Because I always say, never be so egoistic to say that you cannot learn something from the person that is sitting across from you. You
I,
can. I learned the most from my children, even when they
hmm.
were little. Just be
Hmm.
open and be willing to learn and pick up.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. So, what are the things that let's say we can do that are very simple, but they can help us to have the bond? Because sometimes to create this connection is not that easy.
Um, Play as a dad or as a mom. It's always play an active role in family life.
Hmm.
Even if it's not easy, allow yourself to interact with the children and allow the children to play an active role in the household.
Hmm.
Um, when I moved in where I'm living right now, my children were really young. The youngest was 2, and I put all the dishes underneath the yeah, close to the floor. Let me put it that way, because I figured, okay, how long do I have to wait until they can reach up there to get the dishes out? And I was like, nah, I'm not going to wait that long. I want them to learn to lay the dishes on the table earlier.
Hmm.
And I taught them that dirty dishes don't fly into the dishwasher. So
Hmm.
this is one role where you can interact and be a role model. You can
Hmm.
also teach them how to cook. I always tell my sons, girls will love it that you are able to cook. It's really sexy. So
Right.
if you're a dad, lead by example, and it does not have to be something difficult. If you do macaroni and cheese, that's fine, but just
Something. Yes.
teach them how to yeah, play an active part in the family life.
Hmm.
Sit down with them, do a board game. If that's not your kind of game, then go outside, kick some balls. Whatever
Hmm.
is good and comes natural to you, the
Hmm.
children will pick that up. Don't try to fit into a role that is not yours. If you're
Hmm.
making something up and say, okay, I'm gonna be that great, blah blah blah, and you're not feeling it, the children will not interact with that, because they sense it, that this is something wrong, that you actually do not like it. So they won't pick it up. But if
Hmm.
they see that you are really into something, they will go
Hmm.
for that as well. And I think this is most of it. Take the time. I mean, I hated it when my children started working in the kitchen and the kitchen was a mess
Hmm.
afterwards. But I
Hmm.
mean, this is what learning and growing
Is
together is all about. And now
right.
I can leave them alone for a weekend and go to the States and on a business trip, and I know they are fine because they are able to cook. They told me to come back, please come back, because it's quite exhausting to always put everything back into place and clean up the kitchen afterwards. And they love to have the food flying to the table, but they will survive, and they
Right.
survive fine.
Hmm. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Those are great lessons. Definitely, dads will, and families will be happy to learn this. Because like sometimes I feel like, oh no, they will do later. But your idea, like to make them at least on the lower level so they can reach it. Or for some people, we create the same stool that they have in the bathroom, we have it in the kitchen,
Yeah,
so they can have
yeah.
access to it. Amazing.
Exactly, and don't be afraid. I mean,
Hmm.
what I really learned is that if you allow children to grow, they will grow. We
Hmm.
here have a program where police officers show the children the way to school so that they can go on their own before they are a first grader.
Hmm.
I mean, we have a lot of boardwalks. You don't have that in the US in all
Hmm.
cities, but here we
Hmm.
have. And one of the policemen said to me when my youngest went there, he told me, let go, don't be afraid, let them go, they need to make their own decisions and own experiences. And
Hmm.
having 2 boys, I have been to the emergency room quite sometimes, and it always happened when
Hmm.
I was standing next to them. So even
Hmm.
if you're thinking that you are protecting your children by keeping them really close to you, you can't. If
Hmm.
something is going to happen, it is going to happen, if even if you are right next to it.
Right.
So really give them the freedom to experience, and this in the end will have you as a dad be more relaxed as well.
Hmm. That is true. That is so true. Thank you. Thank you. So let's jump a little bit about the issue with the stress. Uh,
Yeah. Big
Actually,
topic.
yes. Okay. So this is good. Actually, you know what? I was just to add to what we just mentioned about how people they can be very protective. things will happen, like you mentioned, even if we're there with them. But I think we have to remember, it's good to let them experience things on their own, because, like the police were saying, because that's how they become resilient. Oh yeah, I've been
Yeah.
through this before. But try to
Yeah.
monitor them when they go through that.
Yeah. Be the
Amazing.
rails on their streets.
That's
Don't be
it.
the driver of their car, but be the rails so that they will keep on the street.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I love that. I love that. So how can we deal with deal with stress? Like, is there any special techniques or mindful practices that you recommend for us to stay centered and calm?
I'm definitely a friend of biohacking. So
Okay. Okay.
it's always a mixture.
Mhm.
Find the poison that fits, you always say. You don't have to meditate if meditation is not yours. If you
Mhm.
cannot sit down to meditate, it is perfectly fine to listen to a meditation if you're walking or running.
Mhm.
It's just like take that moment of time where you try to calm down your brain. I
Mhm.
always go when I go for a walk. I never take my mobile because I
Mhm.
really want to be with nature at that moment. I want to listen to my surroundings. I want to listen to the birds. So it's yeah. If you like meditation, do a little bit of meditation. Definitely do sports.
Mhm.
I mean, I totally get it that you might need this 2 hours in front of the TV watching a game.
Mhm.
This is also can be self-care, but
Mhm.
you won't be a balanced dad if this is all you do for self-care. It needs some good nutrition, it needs some sports, it needs some me time. It also definitely needs some time with your partner. This is something that is often forgotten, especially when children are young.
Mhm.
Will he go on a date night?
Mhm.
Pay for somebody to take care of the kids just so that you will have a topic with your partner to talk about that has nothing to do with children.
That is true. That is true.
So there are so many aspects, but this really helps. And before you act, sometimes we are so stressed, and
Mhm.
then you probably come home and your child spills something.
Mhm.
I mean, this does not happen on purpose.
Mhm.
It seldomly does.
Mhm.
But before you react at that moment, stop and breathe, just like for 1 second, center yourself, and then you say, okay, it was just a glass, or
Mhm.
it was just a plate.
Mhm.
It doesn't really matter. I mean,
Right.
the child is safe, you are safe, so it's a kind of interacting with your surroundings, with your family,
Mhm.
and breathing really helps. It's something that comes from way below. Yeah, I think while we were still hunting.
Mhm.
The amygdala normally
Mhm.
makes you react immediately to
Mhm.
something that stresses you. Normally, you have like freezing or hitting something
Right.
because there was this tiger or whatever who wanted to eat you.
Right.
And if you breathe and give yourself this second, even if you just say like, "aha," and then think about it. The
Right.
brain kicks in, and then you might find a reaction that is not so hurtful.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Um, because this is a challenge for everyone, and actually the people that master it, is an amazing thing to have. And I think one of the powers of meditation is one of those things. I think it helps when whenever you're used to having that mindfulness, it helps in those moments.
Yeah, it definitely does. And if we are, for example, if your child comes home with a bad grade, I mean,
Mm.
nobody likes having a D or an F on
Mm-hmm.
an exam.
Right.
But looking at the length of those 18 years that you're raising your child, I mean, you raise it your whole life, but 18 years or 17 years of school. And then you see like, how much time is it like this one grade on
Mm.
that whole scale? It's
Mm.
nothing.
Right.
So why? I mean, if your child needs the experience to have a D or an F, fine. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not on you. You can tell them, okay, it's
Good.
probably not good if you want to, is that if this is the way you want to look your school career like, then that's fine. It's your decision. I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you that is probably not a good one to
Mm-hmm.
take, um,
Right.
but don't start yelling, screaming. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
change anything. The grade is already in the past. It's not
Right.
even there in that moment, and it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely not the future.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, because like it's good that they experience that, like you mentioned, and also they can learn. Oh, you know what? What are the consequences of this? So then maybe like they need help. Then we can invest on their, you know, on the help so that they can do better in the future. So that they can see. By the way, I've been in trouble. I've worked on it, and boom, look at what happened. So I think
Yeah,
it's a good learning experience for in every point in your life. I think it's a beautiful learning experience.
yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, you can learn so much.
Mm-hmm.
I lately had somebody telling me, "Oh, I don't like your LinkedIn profile. It's all about motherhood," and I'm like, "No, it's not."
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much you can relate on, even if you don't have children.
Mm-hmm.
You might have the same experiences or situations with your colleagues at work.
Mm-hmm.
So mindfulness gives you a lot of opportunities to look at certain
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pieces of your life in a
Mm-hmm.
different light.
Mm-hmm. My goodness, yeah. So, what are your, because so far you look at the society, what are, is changing and things are changing now. Like today's society is not the same as back in the days. So, how can we embrace these challenges and opportunities?
Good question. First of all, I would love fathers to have a more active role. I really would
Mm-hmm.
um, like to have that role on eye level, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
in a balance. I'm all
Hmm.
about balancing. So
Right, right.
let's put raising children on a balance where both men and women play an equal part,
Mm-hmm.
because our children need both of that.
Right.
Um, Men is often related to being in the brain and mothers to be in the heart, but this is
Mm-hmm.
just like stereotypes. It
Mm-hmm.
can be all mixed, but one thing that is sure, that children need both to grow. I always
Mm-hmm.
told my son, okay, you have this way, you see how your father does it, you see my way, and this is where you help them grow and they learn. They can look at way or path A, path B, and they can decide later on which one to take, or if they create their own way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely one thing I would like to get people more involved into. And another thing is that I really find it disturbing how many children are parked in front of mobiles. This is really something. This uh, hurts my soul. I mean, there are so many good books to read. Give your child a book that really
Mm-hmm.
forms and activates their creativity. Let them read a book, but don't park them in front of their tablet. And even the youngest one, I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is totally a one-way street, and they won't get emotions out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, for me, it's all about emotions and feelings and hugging people. But if we park children in front of their mobiles and give them too much screen time, we raise children that are, yeah, like narrow-minded and not
Mm-hmm.
really empathetic.
Right.
So this
Right.
is something where I would love us to work on. And you, as a father, you have the unique opportunity to be that role model. So
Mm-hmm.
raise by example.
Right.
Leave your mobile next to you and don't look at it when you are talking to your child. Don't take it to the dinner table. That's a
Right.
no go.
Right.
Concentrate on the person that is in front of you. It's not about spending like hours with your children. It's about
Mm-hmm.
spending that special time you have really with them 100%.
Oh, that's amazing. This is a message I know is very popular, but we we forget and stuff like that. So it's very important to really remind ourselves to really prioritize them. Because it's just a short time. After that, like the whole time that you're engaging with them, before you know it, like the dinner is over, like you're already playing, you're having fun. Oh, they're tired, they gotta go to sleep. Then you have your own time. This is
Yeah,
amazing. This is
you
amazing.
definitely have.
Yes. So no, this has been incredibly insightful. I know there's so much more we can talk about, but we plan to have to break it down so we can have like a repeat again pretty soon, hopefully. And so I really thank you for sharing your wisdom and insight. Like
Yeah,
those practical tips to us.
I am really pleased to help. I'm really welcome. There's one question you did not ask me,
Yes,
and
please. Yes.
I really would love to go into that one just for 1 second because you wanted to know from me what to tell to young dads that are just starting their parenting journey.
Yes.
And
Yes, please. Yes. Why not?
for those ones, just one thing to remember: lack of sleep is a torture. So
Uh,
do not overreact. I don't know who is getting up in your partnership, if it's the woman or the man at night. Lack of sleep is a torture, and you might not react the same or as normal as you would have done without the lack of sleep. So please give yourself
oh.
some credit, give your partner some credit in those first months, and at one point of time, it will all go back to normal.
Oh, this is a very good point because even if you're not newly married, you've been there for a minute, and then now you have little ones, and you're struggling with sleep. This is a good point to remember. This is true
Yeah.
because your threshold
So
of that the anger management and everything is not going to be the same because you're already deprived of sleep, and maybe you're the coffee person. There's no coffee yet. All those things.
yeah, exactly. And lack of sleep also has a big impact on your immune system. So
Hmm.
therefore, also on your mental health, you will
Hmm.
more easily go into depression or feeling exhausted because of that lack of sleep. And this is
Right.
something just to keep in mind.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing that because I was keeping the idea that you're sharing, what dads can do in this new generation and stuff like that, and I was linking all that together. But I'm happy that you mentioned that so that dads can remember this. So I really thank you for being practical and sharing this great information. So how can folks find you, my friend?
They can find me on my internet site. It's
Hmm.
jennifer-sievers.com. And
Hmm.
I'm talking all about balance there and how to find it with intelligent molecules I'm working with.
Hmm.
And they definitely can find me on LinkedIn. I'm not that active on Insta, on Facebook, but I'm definitely active on LinkedIn. And you can watch me there and follow my posts.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So for all you've done that have been listening, be sure to check out the show notes for the links to Jennifer's resources and connect with her directly. So and please remember taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's
No.
very necessary. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Please. Thank you so
Self-care
much.
comes first.
Yes, absolutely. So please stay puzzling. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you, Suli, for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear.